Okay. This is something new from us. Uh, Pokepath content. We played it when we saw it was like released, and we just did off stream. Then we noticed that people were making content, and I figure anything like us, back in the day with regular Pokemon Tower Defense, it would be nice to have people who made videos and stuff and had information. So we figure we could here do that, uh, and just check out the new update because they added some new stuff that we haven't seen yet. Main things I immediately noticed with the rips, all these numbers at the top. There's more of them, which I think are just the shortcuts, aren't they?
Yeah. He says, not having used them a single time.
I didn't use it a single time.
I think it'll be useful though. Now we can choose boss even more effectively.
Yeah. Like I said, previous 100%. It looks like I still have all the achievements. I didn't add any new ones. The main thing I'm noticing is that there's 20 more Pokemon, which means 2,000 more levels. But I have the money. I figured there'd be some updates coming out, so I made sure to farm some money.
Want to know something scary?
Sure.
There's a money cap.
Is it just all nines? Or does it go even further than that?
Probably on nines. I'll see there are achievements to get all Pokemon from the shop. Unsurprisingly, it didn't take away our achievements. That'd be kind of messed up.
So, from what I've heard of the items, that you can equip them to undeployed units. So, I don't know if you can just equip them from the box or not. This is a search. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how the items work yet.
I'm not sure if we... No, I don't think we have any.
I think just find a shop, this will look like.
Gotcha.
But I'm assuming you can only have one. But I'm assuming you can also have whatever item. Weird thing. So I assume it's just going to be streamlining what the best one is. But if it's percents, which is kind of what it looks like, I can assume it's going to be good. So already, seeing some things. The holder getting 10 damage is obviously going to be really good because it's flat damage, which means adding it to ones that attack really quickly but don't have a lot of flat damage. Like, say, Spin does a great example. So I feel like that could be nasty. Recharge speed again, 15%. So that's just going to be mostly good on the super slow ones. I feel like it's probably going to be like 3 seconds or longer. You'd probably want that item. Something along those lines. Like, honestly, probably for like Ampharos and like Lapras. Attacks no longer restore hearts. The holder gains plus 50% damage and minus 50% recharge time. Only Pokemon that restore hearts can do it. Or can hold.
Sounds actually really good.
Yeah. I assume it just makes those Pokemon viable. So.
Sounds like it'd make them a little more than viable if you ask me.
Increase the duration of stuns and slows by 10%. While I feel like that could be good, I feel like this might be the worst item so far.
Plus with how stuns work, it's weird. Because, like, you can't stun... Well, I guess stun. Well, you can't slow people while they're slowed.
Plus, I mean,
So
a majority of stuns and slow are 2 seconds or less. So it's, like, going to be a very unnoticeable amount.
Yeah. Still not bad.
Like, yeah, but I feel like just overall, like, reduce recharge speed. Doesn't that kind of, in a sense, refresh? Yeah. I mean, it depends on how it goes. If it's, like, applied. Like, if slow has, like, wait for it to run out to reapply it. Same as stun, but I don't think so. I think you basically...
I'm pretty sure that's how it did work.
Either way, I think I'd rather take the recharge speed. The Pokemon focuses on teleporting in place at the cost of reducing stack damage by 75%. Can only be held by Abracadabra or Alakazam.
I mean, makes them viable.
Okay, well, after buying that, it says restores 1 heart after dealing 25,000 damage. Can only be held by Clefairy or Clefable.
That also sounds pretty good.
Amulet coin. That's very huge.
Instant buy.
Field terrain instead behaves as grass for the holder.
Okay, okay.
After-
Maractus became the single best unit in the game.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's mostly going to be good on things like Peptide. After recovering a heart, the Pokemon... Can you also only buy one? Okay, so you can only buy like one of each. Water for the holder. That's pretty good. Increases range by 60. Can only be used or held by Magikarp or Gyarados. Increases burn duration by 20 or 220 seconds. Can be held by Torkoal. Okay. This item allows strictly water Pokemon to be placed on field. Increases damage dealt by 20%, but is reduced by 1% for each enemy hit, only for area Pokemon. This item allows strictly field Pokemon to be placed on grass. Deals double damage to armor, can only be held by Clauncher or Clawitzer. Increases recharge time by 2 seconds. Okay, once per round for 1 heart after dealing 50,000 damage. That's honestly going to be pretty nasty, because you can just put that on your main damage dealer, or even like a backup one, because they're going to be reaching that every... What's this per round? Do you think that means per wave?
Probably.
Okay, increases damage by 15. The slowed or stunned enemies, only Pokemon that can be deployed in water.
Okay, okay.
Gain a 0.1 additional range every star. Can be held by Clefairy or Clefable. Okay.
We're cooking.
Deal 30% extra damage to stunned enemies. Only Pokemon that can cause stun can equip it. Okay. All attacks cause stun, but stun duration is reduced by 95%. Can only be held by Voltorb or Electrode. Okay. Now, see, I was hoping they'd add something like this. It doesn't seem...
We really have to see how well it works.
Well, I'm just saying it reduces it by 95, and it's already only 1.5. So, I feel like it's not going to be noticeable at all. But maybe not. Maybe it's kind of more to hold one in place for a little bit. Probably most of that. Farfetch. Doubles critical hit chance and critical damage. Can only be held by Farfetch. So I'm guessing
Do we
that's
think
mostly
this
to make
actually
him
makes him
useful.
good?
Okay, increases damage dealt by 50%. Can only be Marowak Cubone. Increased damage dealt by 50%. Can only be held by Pikachu or Raichu. Deal 50% additional damage to armored enemies. Primate. Doubles hearts restored. The projectiles explode in an area, cause half damage to nearby enemies. Can only be used by Psyduck or Golduck. I mean, that's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah.
Critical hit slow the target for 0.2 seconds. Pokemon that apply any status effect cannot hold this item. Okay. That's mostly going to be for, obviously, Absol, but even Weavile. And honestly... what's the name? Possible one.
Or Moldo?
Yeah. To be fair, it's only for 0.2, but I mean, if you're just applying it with the regular...
Yeah.
Well, spin it to choose attack target.
Yeah, that actually could be really good.
I mean, mostly just first. That's what you'd really want. Okay, the holder deals 5% more damage for each status the target has. Pretty decent, actually.
It's gonna be very overwhelming attacks and trying to equip this stuff.
Increased damage based on how close the holder is to its target. Only activates on mountain. That is pretty nasty for vengeance stuff, especially. Increases damage dealt to 5% for each boss Pokemon on the team. Can only be held by Anorith or Armaldo. Now that's pretty nasty.
It is.
Damage increased by 20% if the enemy is further than 150 range. Decreased by 20% if not. Only usable for projectile-based Pokemon. Okay. Spinda comes to mind. Projectiles no longer ricochet. The holder gains 50% damage for each missed ricochet. Okay. That actually is huge.
Yeah. It sounds like it wouldn't be good for a Moldo.
Reduce damage by 50% and recharge time by 25%. Only Ditto can use So it's basically supposed to be okay. I guess that makes
So what do we think this means? Because usually this can only be used by Ditto untransformed. So we think Ditto actually does something?
well, I'm assuming it copies something, but just at a different rate, like to where it does half damage, but the recharge time. So it's like kind of just a variation to where it's different than just straight up copying, where it can get a bonus.
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay, and this one's increased damage by 50% and recharge time. So there's one for to do the opposite. Increased damage dealt, but only by fossils. Increased critical for each fossil Pokemon in your team can only be pulled by Kabuto or Kabuto.
That's gonna go crazy.
Yeah. Converts 4-direction attacks into 8-direction attacks.
That also sounds really, really strong.
So like Dunsparce, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Rocky Helmet doubles Rampardos damage boost from 5% missing art to 10. That's actually nasty. As long as 50% stronger, only Shuckle can hold it.
Shuckleberry juice, you love to see it.
No longer deals critical hits. Increased damage by 1.75 for every 1% critical. That's actually insane, though.
I imagine criticals probably do double damage then, right? Because otherwise this would just be OP. Like, say, for Pokemon with like 10% crit, this is probably just better overall.
Yeah. I mean, even still, you could make your characters like, again, obviously Absol comes to mind, just gaining a lot of damage. But also,
I mean,
if it is 2 times, then you're just losing damage.
Yeah.
But I assume it's mostly going to be for characters that kind of have like a lower one, like a 30% crit rate. Then you're
Like,
just
say,
gaining
even,
a lot.
Kabutops, for example.
I think that seems like a pretty nasty item. Reduces recharge time by 25% when hearts are 7 or less.
Pretty good, pretty good.
The holder
Especially
can
for
fire.
bosses, I'd imagine.
Yeah. The holder can fire projectiles at 1 additional target, but their damage is reduced.
That is probably gonna be OP. What about like Armaldo? He just shoots twice as many, and he just ricochets to literally everyone.
Probably.
And I guess even Credilli. Probably not gonna be fighting like 10
I just
enemies
feel
at
like
once.
it fires 1 additional one, you probably want to know something like launcher. Because if it can fire like or hit 2 enemies,
Yeah.
I feel like you don't really need that. Increased damage of ricochets by 15%.
Okay.
Just 10% damage to cursed enemies. Increase range by 10 for each possible one held. Only used for Amistar. That's actually pretty nasty though.
Yeah.
Increase the attacker's range by 25, but make the user target random enemies only for a single target Pokemon. That actually seems really, really good.
Yeah, that also gives me the sense of an item that's gonna be really OP.
Increase the projectile impact area by 100%. Can only be used by Drudgeon.
Okay.
Has the teleportation cooldown. Can only be used by Upper and stuff. Allows Gardevoir to spread nightmares. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be
The
pretty
holder
solid.
reduces recharge time by 20% and has a 50% chance to apply an additional poison attack for each attack. Also, are these just like going? Okay. Just want to make sure that stuff was like actually buying. There seems to be a lot of items. I think
Yeah,
I might
they're
just
50.
I might just buy them all. And okay, well there's these ones. Triples the chance of turning a Pokemon shiny. Must be held by Smeargle. Okay. And then Ding Ding Ding, which is the bike. But it seems like you need a lot of money, so I'll definitely have to AFK. Let's buy these Pokemon. We'll check them out.
ASMR.
Pretty much. We should be able to max out all their levels, even though it'll probably be decently expensive.
Okay. And how would this be sorted effectively?
What do you
Who's
mean?
gonna tell him? On the new Pokemon.
I'm just gonna sort by level, I think. I feel like that'll probably
That makes sense. Okay, who checking out first?
Well, I'm going in order of what I have. So,
Order or reverse order?
Carvana. Each attack reduces recharge time by 0.3 seconds, stackable up to 10 times per weight. So it's just speed boost. Well, I mean,
Yeah, that'll be pretty good.
Circle water ring. Well, let's max it out. So still the same thing. Recharge is already pretty good. See, 40% critical though. That's a situation where I think just going for the damage boost would be really, really good.
Yeah. I don't have the money to keep leveling people.
Fire Spirit does it 2 enemies. These are probably the weakest units I've noticed so far. But not that much range. Okay critical, decent recharge thing. Power, kind of just mid unit, in my opinion. I'm just seeing that.
Yeah.
Now Comfy reduces the recharge time Pokemon within range by 25. At the end of a wave, has a 5% chance to recover 1 heart. Now see this. This seems like a pretty strong unit. So it doesn't seem like levels did literally anything for me. Maybe it increased range. I'm hoping so.
Yeah, I've got 80 at level 1.
But 130 range really isn't that much. So I'm guessing it's mostly to maybe affect 2 units. But it does make them attack faster. So, I mean, that's
kind of really strong.
Yeah. Especially because if you can get like a line, like say 3 here. I don't think this is 3. But I really only think it can hit like right next. But you could even do like the double rack strategy. Turned out to be incredibly powerful to make them attack fast. Although again, it is like a percentage. So, but still, knocking off 1/4 of really any recharge time is still going to be pretty beneficial. Because even on like fast attackers like Weavile, where they only have 40, it's like then it's going down to 30.
Yeah.
I feel like that's actually pretty gosh crazy. Ponage, double damage to armor. Now see, this one seems pretty good. Because it doesn't have a lot of damage right now, but the recharge is 1 second, and it has decent range, and that's not even.
Okay, so he gets upgraded too.
Okay, so fire 2 projectiles, which usually again isn't that great, but in this situation honestly isn't bad, and already really fast recharge. Critical is really less important. Unfortunately, not a lot of range. 20 damage a hit. Okay, now it even gets upgraded more. So, did it always have forms? Or did I just miss that part?
It just now has forms.
So it deals double damage to armor, or deals area damage and slows enemies for 2 seconds, but loses half its power. So can you just choose the form?
That's a great question.
At max level, that's pretty good. Very fast attacks. Range is not that great. But, again, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think our Giga Slash should be pretty nasty. Now, Rowlet. Super critical, always good. Ring is honestly an underrated hitbox, pretty good. It can go into any field except water. Huge. Already pretty fast recharge. Okay, very fast attacks. 300 range ring. Yeah. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good. Downside, the critical's only a 22% chance, so I feel like the super critical kind of takes away.
Yeah.
But overall, still seems like a really good unit. Like, even on a stage like the one I'm on right now, like setting up that like next to Noivern, like have Noivern up here and then them down here. Pretty good. How much range is Noivern? 400. Yeah, it's like I see that just genuinely being solid. Let's see. Sobble. Projectile multiplies its damage by 2 for every 120 units of distance. So, they're the ones involved. A sniper or no? No. Yes?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they just get more range. Honestly, this is huge. Every level increases every stat. They get more damage, they get less recharge, they get critical, and they get more range. So at max level, they have 700 range.
That's a little
It's the
high.
highest in the game, at least out of these new ones. Because I'm pretty sure the one before this was 500 on Dunsparce. This is still a cross, though. So that one thing might be good. The one that makes it like 8 directions. But 4 seconds isn't terrible. I still think it's quite a bit, but it's only 300 power. However, it does multiply damage by 2 for 120 units of distance. Basically, it seems like if you can set up
multiplies it by 2.
um
That's pretty strong.
oh yeah, so it's 2 times damage. You okay? Dude, that
How
is
much is 120? Yeah, I guess if they have 700 range, that's like 5 times damage or something.
and they can go in a field, water, or mountain. So yeah, that's a very very good unit. Pikachu attacks ricochet between enemies with reduced damage and have 5% chance to stun the target. 3 ricochet.
Yeah, ton's pretty good.
3%. Not a lot of range at all. Field and grass, which the grass is actually pretty good. I feel like that's a nice thing. Especially with 3
I think that's
ricochets.
something that I noticed before is that we don't have any grass stun units.
Critical being 20, okay. Fast recharge. I really don't think Pikachu is going to be anything special. I feel like the static doesn't seem that great. You're just banking on low chances. I feel like that's not what you want.
Yeah.
Turns negative effects of items into positive effects. On your
I wasn't paying a lot of attention to negative effects, but
range isn't great, but it's also not the worst. 40% critical, so that's not bad. I feel like that might be one that's worth turning into damage. Honestly, not too slow and some pretty decent damage. I can see them being a pretty good unit. Again, in a situation like this stage, I'll use that example. Like here, putting the X pattern down could be good, or even like here where Ampharos is at. I think it could go on the field.
I also I found it. The holder can fire an additional 1 projectile, but their damage is reduced by 50%.
So it increases range. Then.
Because damage.
Yeah, but didn't it say it reduced its range too? Or it increases range but reduces damage?
They fire an additional projectile, and then also will do 50% more damage. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty good.
There's also the holder can no longer critical hit. Think that counts as a negative? They can critical hit and they get damage.
Double critical. I'm thinking no.
That'd be pretty crazy. Damage increase, but use further. Decrease if not.
To be fair, that could be good.
Increase the target's range, but makes the user target none. Yeah, I don't know if it would work like that.
I think there's only really one negative effect here.
Or even is that? Yeah, like, okay.
Yeah, I guess I could have put it now. Not like I'm gonna put it on anyone else.
Moxie?
What?
During the current Pokemon wave, each time this Pokemon defeats a Pokemon, its damage is increased by 3%. Now that has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's crazy, because it's a percent increase, and at max level it's 900. 900 damage, 30% critical. Not a lot of range at all. Field of Mountain. Honestly,
I could see this guy going crazy.
I'm not seeing it going that crazy because it is during the current wave. It's only built up from what you're fighting. But also, I feel like you are gonna be killing a decent amount of really weak
just
enemies.
Like stack him, because like you'd also just be like, you know, having units that slow and have them target high health, just so no one gets the kill.
I think it could be good. Be for what's 3% of 900?
Would that just be 9?
Well, I think it's more than 9. I think it would be 90.
Well, 3% of would it be? Well, 3% of 100 would be 3. So 3 times 9 would be 27? 27 more damage per kill? I mean...
Yeah, now see, that could add up quick. Okay, now Schmeargle. Each hit has a very small chance to turn a Pokemon that is in its final evolutionary stage shiny. Was there an item for Smeargle?
I think there was.
Uh, I think I remember seeing. I'm not.
I don't know.
Max level stats aren't great, but I think the most thing is just to evolve things. But that's cool though. I'm definitely gonna be going for it. The first attack on enemy deals double damage. First impression. Now that's pretty good. So I do like that's a pretty fast attack too. Unfortunately, again, it's just no range. Really, the main downside to a lot of these units I've noticed is range, because most of the time you're not going to be moving your units around, and so you kind of want range. In a lot of situations like this, though, it's like where are you going to put Velocipede?
Yeah,
'Cause
because like you
try
kind of
like,
need
oh,
him to attack people before anyone else even thinks about attacking people.
yeah. Well, I mean, technically not. You could put him like a little bit further away, and then when he does hit,
It also could be something to where it's the first hit he gets into an enemy,
well, I think that is how.
rather than just the first time an enemy's hit.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a bit more reasonable.
I feel like that would make a lot. Okay. Deals or doubles damage out to burned enemies. I guess it really depends on how much damage.
I imagine you're gonna be kind of packing.
Not really. Not a lot of range. Oh, they do attack an area though. That is pretty
And
good.
there's the
And
kicker.
they can go on grass.
Yeah,
go
and then
on
with
field.
Torkoal,
Yeah,
gonna go crazy.
That's what I'm saying. But also, what is Maractus' stat?
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Because it's kinda straight up better. Isn't it more range, more damage, less recharge time? And then it gets double power if in grass, but dealing double damage if they're burned.
I feel like Burn's probably a bit easy to set up.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you have to. I mean,
I just feel like, you know, the
I feel like
gimmick
it's
unit
weird.
is supposed to be Maractus here.
I mean, actually, I think it might have a little. I could definitely see being. So I'm definitely gonna favorite Smeargle. I also think that Aegislash has potential to be good. Fish Sharp also. Comfy as well, because they're the one with the recharge that thing. Inteleon I really don't think is gonna be that great, but we could maybe try it. I don't think Ferrum is very interesting at all. Okay, now we got Magikarp though. Deals double damage to armor. Okay.
Good gonna go
range,
crazy.
Water, good damage. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's pretty solid unit. I didn't really see myself wanting to use it all that much.
I can see it. The ring with decent range.
Yeah, I guess probably could work in it. Oof, wait, Coco. If the target is
he's
cursed,
busted?
deals double damage to all cursed enemies and burns them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that...
Although it doesn't have a lot of range. Yeah, not a lot of range though.
kind of doesn't need it, though.
I mean, I have to hit the enemy.
You only have to, like, a enemy, and it doesn't seem like your damage really matters either.
Well, yeah, but it's not flash. It's if I hit a curse target, and again, 2-second cooldown for a single target, it just burns the enemy if they're cursed.
Well, it
Oh,
damages
I guess it
and
does hit
burns all
all.
cursed enemies. And, well, it really depends if the target is cursed, because if you deal damage to all cursed enemies and then burn them, I guess it wouldn't really matter, since you're only hitting cursed and burned enemies anyways.
Yeah, but also you
You're
are
pretty
doing the
good.
damage to them. So, I feel like it could be good. I just feel like, again, the curse build is kind of bad.
Maybe that's what makes it good.
Well, I
feel
feel
like I
like it's
just
the
don't.
issue with
I
inflicting.
must be missing something with it.
Okay, so let's see this. Increases power by 50% while on a mountain. Sets its critical chance to 100% while in tall grass. So you're telling me this thing has 1,000 damage, and they can hit for like 3,000 just in grass? Oh, okay, that's what it was. But now it's increases power by 50% and sets its critical chance to 100% while on a mountain.
Oh.
So if it's on a mountain, it's doing 3,000 damage every 1 second, and it has
Okay,
a
I see what we're looking at here.
100% crit chance. Okay, well, Lycanrock's definitely going on.
We're looking at some, what's it? Midnight Lycanroc.
Yep.
So what do we think the other effects are?
What do you mean?
Because I imagine, since it's chosen the bottom right, that means its current form, not just what it will be forever. You can also search.
I think you swap, maybe?
Oh, that's even better.
Oh, so yeah, it just swaps. One on the rock, one in the grass. So you could just always have it. The stats are slightly different, though. The, I guess, midnight version is half the damage, but also half the recharge. In a little bit less range. But then the one on the mountain is the second cooldown, but 1,000 damage. A little bit more. I wonder if it's that easy for, Aegis.
You know, hard probably. Never mind, that'd be stupid.
I
I can't click minus swap. Maybe I need it in the party.
These are challenges. Let's see. Once you activate the first wave, your run will be timed. There is no time limit. Enemies have more stuff. You lose the initial 14 lives challenge. Not really equip items. You will have to select your Pokemon team in a draft phase at the start of the challenge. Okay, what's this? This is experimental mode. There are no achievements or rewards for completing challenges. Completing challenges are not saved. Closing the game will lose your challenge progress. Some challenges may be impossible to complete. You need 900 stars and 30 Pokemon to play challenges. Starting a challenge will reset your current progress. And yeah, I think I'll skip out on that. However, I do want to test out some of these new Pokemon, but let's find a good route. Because I'm thinking I'm going to want to farm for money to try and get the bicycle stuff. So, trying to think on what route I want to farm for money.
I'm probably gonna do the route that I'm not at wave 1 on.
I just don't know which map would be the best, like, money farm. Just the highest, you think? Just 3-3? Ooh.
Probably.
I'm just thinking that might be. I think I'm gonna do. I feel like this is a fun stage, and then I can just have the Persian set up. So obviously for money farming, it's just using Persian, but we need a team to be able to get through this first. So Double Maractus definitely comes to mind, because just AoE. I wouldn't mind trying out company stuff. I just don't know who I want to ditto.
They, in fact, do not have a lot of range. They need level 50 to hit a diagonal.
Vegas Slash can't go there. Well, I'm thinking we might just go the. This Volcarona is double damage to burn. Is an area and can go in grass. I'm thinking we still run double Maractus, but then we also run just Volcarona.
you know, fair.
Which means we probably want to run Torkoal. Which means we probably want to put on the Torkoal item. Is that this thing? Increase burn rate. Only a 50% chance, but I still don't like. And then we can put on Dunsparce. I think Dunsparce is still probably our slower that we want to rock here. I want to try the 8 direction thing. Is it? Okay, that's pretty crazy.
I guess I probably look through these other items.
I'm gonna choose my team first. Bisharp would be pretty good. Okay, well, actually, we should probably check out Lightning because I can put him in grass. Okay, I'm trying to think if we have Maractus at the top, and put Volcarona down there, and then we can put Lycanroc, which means we can definitely get Sunflora action going. Just for damage boost. I know I'll see companies real quick. So this is what. Oh wait, there's only 4 slots up here. Okay, that's. I'm just thinking of something like. Fire data. Oh, grass, and then we can put map on.
That I don't like. You can't see when stuff's already equipped, but you can still only equip one of each item. Maybe you can
for me.
Maybe I'm just blind.
Something does not have block. Sunflora, I don't think it's gonna get too much action. Dunsparce, we can deploy.
Okay, you definitely can. Never mind.
Thinking we don't need Sunflora. I'm thinking we want to put Torkoal here. Because it's Torkoal area or just splash?
Okay. Area.
I still think he was probably a better spot for it. Some of these new units did seem pretty interesting. Gyarados. I do kind of want to test Aika Slash. I just don't think they're going to be that great. And then Bisharp we can also try. I don't mind. We just kind of need some damage. I also wouldn't mind another slower. Who was the red unit that we said was going to be kind of interesting?
The what unit?
That Gyarados? Just first though in a single hit. I know it was running like Flygon and stuff. Honestly, I feel like that's not the worst. I was also thinking about trying out the Sidgewai. I think we placed on Mountain. And Ring and Critical. I'll check the Ring. Let's see here. It's not the greatest. That's probably
Are we ready for me to get a shiny within the first 10 seconds?
pretty sick.
I imagine it's probably like, you know, it's not just it's gonna be shiny. Like, whoa, you got a shiny! Whoa! If I had to guess.
Maybe. X pattern is not good.
You know, it would make it good
What?
if
Make
it was a
8
star
direction?
pattern.
Yeah, but that's what I have a Dunsparce. What do I want?
Oh, dang. First wave in and Marta losing lives.
Uh-huh.
I don't even have my second Smeargle deployed. What am I doing?
Yeah, but I have the zoom lens on Bisharp. Then it's like the double projectile. I might just fire Bisharp, I'm not gonna lie.
Dang.
He's kind of gonna be useless. Now, what do we want to? Oh yeah, I forgot. There's like the behaves on the thing.
Yeah, you know, I should probably be equipping a bit more items.
Yeah. I think I might do the heart restore thing. This could be fun. Try out. They should be able to reach that damage pretty quickly. Especially like we probably just want Ditto running one of the Ditto items. Oh, okay. So Ditto can't even run any other items.
Gotcha.
Question is, do I want to have? I feel like probably doubling damage.
I think my best option for starting off equipping items would probably just be to equip the specific ones for specific units.
Yep, not bad. Well, let's see what we want. Volcarona. We can get more. A lot of things.
Okay, so amulet coins based on damage dealt. Even more intriguing. Why is Dunsparce my highest damage output? What happened?
There's a lot of good stuff. Even just the recharge speed would be pretty nasty. Like 15% critical is never gonna get hit, but I could just increase damage. Just replace the 15% critical for more damage. I'm also thinking. Like, no, like. To be fair, the critical would go crazy, but I think having 100% critical. Like, I didn't realize I haven't put on any invisible seers.
Okay, that's a pretty nasty item.
Huh.
It increases the range by 25 of Sunflora Comfey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you that? There's one that gives people frisk. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I've got an Armaldo right now. Probably just about the worst person I could put this on.
Well, see, I wonder if it just gives them frisk or if they hit an enemy, it reveals them. But I'm assuming that it probably just allows them to hit. Yeah, and it
Okay,
even
so it
changed
must
their
be
set.
by fire projectiles, so we're chilling. I was thinking Torkoal would be OP, and I think they were thinking the same thing.
Any area one, really.
Yeah.
And also not melee unit. Like, say, I think a lot of them attack, like, physically, don't they? Or no?
Hmm.
Like, say, I would imagine like Lycanroc doesn't even have like a projectile. It's more of a that's considered like a physical, not a projectile. Maybe it just means non-area. We're
I
like,
mean, everyone fires a projectile. I mean, at least all. You know, like Lycanroc definitely still fires a projectile.
okay, pretty good.
Increase the holder's damage by 1% for every 30 stars acquired.
Think what it that's obviously. Yeah, I think we just gotta replace Bisharp. I don't think Bro's gonna work. I could maybe get some. Ooh, actually spin though. I can get some stuff. Because there's the spin the only item, right? The being able to target an enemy, which is
Which
pretty
definitely
good.
sounds good.
But I could also just give it 10 more attack, which would be really good. This is also kind of tempting. It reduces damage by 50% and recharge time by 50%. The focus automatically targets the fastest enemy.
Did he find the loophole?
But I already attack pretty quick, but I feel like that basically comes at no cost and will just target the fastest enemy.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, that's only one. This one's also good. The critical one, the no critical, but Spinda has 20% critical chance.
Yeah, but I feel like with attacking that fast, it's gonna be a net loss.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking
I
you
think
just
I might be giving the quick claw to Spinda. Yeah, so it does in fact set their target to faster. I might have to test this out.
the Spinda
He's
one.
been here, what, 47 minutes he's finding loopholes?
I don't really think it does much though, because it targets the fastest, not the furthest or first or anything, right?
Yeah. Still better than attacking random.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. Try it. Try it. And over here.
I do
You're
like my
awesome.
spin attacking 10 times a second.
Yeah, then we'll have that pulled up over here. Now our goal here is pretty much to get to the boss so we can farm the boss and try and get anything else that could have Miracle on. Oh, I never gave him the weaver.
This might be a bit of a hot take, but I don't think Smeargle's very good offensively.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Do I even have Smeargle? I don't even know if I saw him.
Always search him.
No, it's too much.
I will force you to get use out of this feature.
So probably just with things that recharge, right? Make them attack faster. like Aegislash is kind of putting in the work right now.
You know, Inteleon's probably one of the best people to give the bandana. Because I'm assuming if you just increase his damage, that's probably more important than his crit. Especially if it, doubles it.
I don't want to, because I think it's cool. I had to do one Smeargle. I mean, I don't know. I think I could probably just Ditto Smeargle in a really bad stage. Anyway, though, while AFKing, we can break down some stuff so we can flip easier. Just give
True.
some tips and tricks. So first, I'll start with my basic ones that I really want to talk about. Is first, money, like the currency, is probably the biggest sense of progress you have in the game. Because it's what allows you to essentially progress anything. Because your units need to get more powerful to be able to get more stars, doing like slots and access type. So for money, obviously Persian's good. Because it gives you money for each enemy hit. It's like a set amount, not even based on your damage. But really the best thing is try and use those throughout, like, whenever you get them. Especially if you can Ditto them. Because then you're just earning more money than you would otherwise. Especially if you're going to be, like, AFKing, like, overnight, just while playing another game. But the main way we've known to get money that's been effective is bosses. Just, hitting bosses a bunch of Persian. Just letting it loop and retry. And you can also go into your settings and enable auto restart or auto retry. So, again, auto retry is very, very good for that because the boss will just reset on the boss. So you can just hit him with Persian, let it go through, and then repeat the cycle. That's how you get a bunch of and obviously Articuno is the easiest boss to like get to. But I'm pretty sure how it goes down the line, they just become more worth it the further you get. So that's why I'm doing this stage, is to get to the boss so I can farm it with Persian and someone with the amulet coin. And presumably, I can also just farm for shinies too using Smeargle. Where if I have, like, say, on this stage, someone farming for money, for the hitter, and then the 2 Persians, like here, and then just a Smeargle here that hits, then still chance it. So if I AFK that, like, overnight, or just while playing something, I'm pretty sure that would add up really, really quickly. So, I feel like it's pretty. I'm also very tempted to go back to Miracle's other thing. Because I feel like it was solid direction. Yeah. Yeah, that's just for money. And then the other thing to keep in mind is knowing every Pokemon is going to take some time, like what's good. The main thing is I would recommend trying to get every Pokemon to level 50 before trying to get like things higher. Just because stats, especially on like unevolved forms, are like way lower. As well as then you can kind of get more of a use of what their endgame stats are. Like say if you get to level 50, you can see that's increasing like whatever stats. So you'll see what'll be good on them. Because a lot of units might not seem that great, but they have a lot of range. And range is important. Like, very important. Like, say, Spinda's one of the best units that I use, especially early on, because you can just put them always in the back line. And it just flips. So, it's very good. But yeah, like I said, just trying to get them all to 50 so you can get a better idea of what stats they're going to have at max, so you can really see what Pokemon are good, as well as then a majority that maybe like a few so already be max evolution compared to other ones that don't evolve or just other evolutions.
I think every Pokemon evolves by 50. I can't say the same for all the new ones though.
I feel like I saw some that were like 60. But regardless, so that would just be my best idea to get more accustomed to all the Pokemon, just trying to get all of them below 50. And then whenever you have Pokemon level 50, find Pokemon, stuff like that. Because like I said, you want to have access to everything first. A lot of times you swap the thread. And like I said, just be trying to farm money and get to Articuno, and then farm Articuno with Persian. Presumably Ditto Persian. Obviously, we played when there was no items and some of these other Pokemon, so I'm not going to give like a tier list of Pokemon or anything. or what items are super good. So I assume the amulet would be a huge favor. Seeing as you're getting bonus money for damage. So whoever your heaviest hitter is, and presumably whoever you put in the front, because they're going to get the most uptime, that.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm really running a fly gun. He's pretty good with it.
Yeah. Your spin would be pretty decent.
Yeah, spin doesn't do like that much damage though.
Yeah, but I mean like 3% of like. I guess right now I'm only doing 50. So. It is cool how they're like a machine gun though, since it's like concentrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides that, with tips and tricks, the main things I can say is just like general kind of like overpowered units and stuff to keep in mind is ring units a lot of times have a lot of range and are just very powerful, but they need to be set up in the right thing. So it's usually a good idea with like some of the ring units to just see where they can be set up, see if they can get value. Because like say, Noivern can hit like a decent amount of things, and I'm pretty sure Noivern have focus.
Yeah.
So it's like when he stands still and stuff, the more times he attacks the same target, the more damage you get. So having that range is huge. So there's that, as well as like Corsola is a slower that uses ring, and so in a lot of stages you can abuse Corsola. Like I'm sure even this stage you could put him like down here in the water, and it would just have access to this like entire bottom row, and even snipe people coming back. And then some other general tips, then we'll get to like specific units. Is just kind of the setups. Slow is usually always a good bet because it just very, very solid. So again, recommend like AoE slowers, like Pharaoh Seed or Corsola.
Yeah, I mean, what slowers aren't AoE?
Yeah. It just...
I guess technically, Shuckle and Tangrowth, but I think that's it.
Other status effects are obviously very, very strong. Burn has been known to be the least useful, which I assume is why they added things like Torkoal to make him a bit better and give bonuses to things that are Burn. Curse seems a little underpowered. Same with Burn.
It might be a bit different with new guy, especially since you can increase burn damage. It's like, if everyone's burned and cursed and taking a bunch of damage, I imagine it'll be pretty good.
Yeah. Poison, however, is very strong against like long stages. And bosses that can be inflicted by it. Same with First from like Gengar. But for the most part, you can ignore running a lot of the poison and stuff, because again, just AoE and raw damage is most of the time better anyway. Gardevoir, however, can spread it, but in my experience, it's very hard to get it to work properly on how you want the status effects to work. So I, for the most part, have ignored status effects the entire time, except in very few situations. With like long stages where I have it very front heavy, and then just at the back part of it, I set up poison where they get hit by it, like the heavier enemies, and then by the time they're walking by, they're getting very low health. But like I said, slow is definitely like, I would almost say mandatory, like always try to include slow at least one.
Yeah.
But other status effects, do it as you want. And then besides that, AoE is very, very powerful. Like say you slow here, and then Torkoal's inflicting burn, and then up here, these two and Larvesta, or Volcarona, do AoE. Most of my strategies have just revolved around double Miraculous, or something similar, like double Whirlpool. Because the AoE is just so strong, because it does even decent amount of damage to heavier enemies, but it essentially means that you can have your backline more single-hit focus. Like say even Noivern and Lycanroc, all the weaker enemies are just going to get decimated by all this stuff. And including Spinna putting them more in the backline. Again, other heavier to just be able to focus whoever's actually surviving. Because some people will put their heavier units in the front to try to destroy them and then hit AoE, but for the most part, it's better just to see what AoE can deal with and then finish off what you can. That's why I'd also recommend putting like a poison unit like Ariados. You could use something like Swallow to try and just inflict everyone with it, but you wind up inflicting like so little stack that it's just not worth it.
But again, having Ariados set to high health, you're just going to be constantly doing the most damage you could with Ariados.
So it's very, very strong. Um, so, then what else? I would say always try to include a frisk unit, which is ones that allow you to hit invisible enemies. Right now I have Decidueye with the item that allows to do it, because you're not going to be looking through every wave and when things are appearing, but there's, for the most part, maybe even every single stage, there's going to be invisible enemies.
Yeah. So
So it is very necessary to find them, because you're going to want to be able to hit those invisible enemies, or else they just get ignored by your entire team.
and I'd have to imagine the Sylph Scope or whatever is probably our best means of doing that.
I would recommend Zatu, but you can use pretty much whatever frisk unit.
I'd recommend Honchkrow personally.
They're
And
very
basically never do Grumpig unless you absolutely need to, like with Grass.
And then I think in terms of the general tips, that's fine. The only main synergies that we've noticed, like ones that actually work well, is like obviously right now they added Volcarona, so good synergy with Torkoal, then supporting enemies and then doing double damage to burned enemies is just a good mix. Even though Torkoal by itself isn't a very good unit, in my opinion.
I feel like you're doing some pretty good damage.
Yeah, I'm just saying I would use him if it wasn't for the fact he was setting up the Volcarona. But it's not bad, especially with the item. Like if I do inflict that's a 50% chance, then they're burned longer. It is pretty good. But
I'd argue Torkoal's probably just straight up good right now.
I just am not a big fan of
To be
burn.
fair, especially in waves unlike this one, where enemies just have high health, not like a bunch of armor and stuff.
I think besides that, it's more specific strategies on more on what units are really OP. Like I said, Porcelain Dunsparce are kind of surprisingly OP, at least like level 100 versions, because they kind of have a lot of coverage and just flash flow, which is very strong. Excadrill's pretty good if you could set him up with his small range against like armored enemies, but it's also still AoE. Probably the two most overpowered units are just Maractus and Ditto. Just because they
I
get...
mean, Ditto's like just hands down the best unit. Maybe not as much now, because you can't really equip items on them. But I still feel like probably, yeah.
It's just Maractus and stuff is so strong. Because it's just, look at the range on it. It gets double damage into tall grass. It's a fast attack. And then Ditto, you can just copy it. Then you have two. Besides that, Spin is a pretty solid, like, early game unit. You can pretty much use it if you have the extra slot at any point. You're going to get value on them. But I wouldn't say they're, like, essential by any means. They're just kind of a unit to keep in mind.
Yeah. I wonder if you give Spinda Sylph Scope, if they automatically target invisible.
I doubt it. Doesn't really
Would you
change
look at
much.
that? In fact, do, and that seems arguably better.
It's like specifically target invisible ones.
Yeah. Especially with that much range and the fact that you're already gonna be wanting Spinda. So I think Spinda with Sylph Scope is probably your best bet with dealing with invisible enemies.
Yeah, really anything to make Spinda's targeting more specific is also very useful that we're learning with these
Yeah.
items. Like this one doesn't really affect my DPS too much. I'm doing half the damage, but I'm also attacking twice as fast, and it's just targeting the fastest unit, so I'm just being able to blood. Lycanroc seems like they'll be a very strong unit as well. Haven't really got to test it too much. Gelud, whatever it's called.
Geldurge.
Yeah, seems like it'll be very strong with the curse team. I just think curse teams are a bit hard to use.
I'm still very interested in testing a lot of these units. Like, say, Gyarados and Inteleon, mostly.
Yeah. I think it's just, in this game, at least of what we played through, like, the last version, it's just, you just want strong slows, and then you want AoE to deal with the majority of the things, and then running just high DPS, especially ones with range and things like focus, like, again, perfect example is Noivern. It's so strong, because you just can build up that single hit damage a lot. And most of the time, AoE is enough, but there's, I think, like 2 or 3 stages where you need single hits to be able to deal with the amount of, like, heavy units they have. And so, it's definitely something important to keep in mind. And also the fact that, just something to keep in mind, you're probably not going to be getting to wave 100 until you have all of your slots.
In most stages. I feel like we made it to wave 100 in the first stage with like even 7 people.
Yeah, the first stage is just hand up. And some of them you could maybe make it, but chances are there's no point like specifically trying to go for wave 100, like really trying to push.
Yeah, just be grinding for easy stars, really.
Yeah, like I said, getting
more stages, more Pokemon, more money, essentially.
That's why it's good to just try and get to Articuno as soon as possible, because it is easier to do. And then you can just farm money, which again is what makes everything possible. Because then you get access to the good Pokemon you need and just levels. But even once you have all the slots at level 100, it's not exactly easy. There is still a lot of information to get through stuff.
To be fair, assuming things didn't get like a lot more difficult at base, it's probably a lot easier to do now.
Yeah, I mean these items are huge, and just some of these Pokemon seem like really, really strong. Specifically though, out of the new ones, I don't know if I can sort by new. But obviously, Aegislash seems decently good, like that. But then the mix between Torkoal with his new item and Volcarona seems very strong. Lycanroc seems like a super overpowered unit. But I haven't really seen it too much in actual action. It hasn't even hit anyone because they haven't gotten that far. Decidueye seems like a very solid unit. I feel like the super critical isn't really a necessary thing, but just a quick attack.
You can't increase critical at all, right?
You might be able to. Farfetch with his new item could be pretty decent. I mean, it gives him
that good. It's definitely no.
That give him 100% critical chance though? I think it does.
Maybe where is this guy?
It's something only like 30.
Yeah, doubles critical. Yeah, he's cooking.
So guarantees crit. And
yeah,
does a lot of critical damage. So Farfetch honestly is probably a pretty good unit right now.
Assuming my math's right, he does 800 damage a second, which isn't bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Obviously, range is a pretty big issue though. Comfy seems like they could be pretty good, if not really good. But you said there was a thing that's Florence up here, right? Increase range.
Lower.
It's only by 25, not 25%. Still,
which is, I guess, not better. Yeah, I don't even have to push to max level.
But I can feel Comfy being pretty good. But a lot of times with any sort of buff unit, like again, Farfetch, Sunflora, or Comfy, you have to take into account: is it going to be better than another unit? And that I'm not sure about. Like, see, in a situation like this, I could probably just replace Volcarona to give potentially both Maractus the thing, and in which case that probably would be worth it. Just the speed. But even still, it would be like barely worth it. Yeah. So, but Sunflora has a lot of range as is, and increasing it, you could hit a lot of people. Where I feel like Sunflora is a worthwhile thing to have. Farfetch can be. I feel like the main issue with Farfetch right now is a lot of the maps are not good for Farfetch. Like, you cannot set up to get a lot of value. Like, if there's a situation where you give, like, Farfetch, like, breaking it 3 people, that's pretty good. But I feel like there's very, like, small situations where you're able to do that. And even if you can, it's not going to be a situation where you can hit them with any of the really good critical units. You say, right now, you'd probably be wanting, like, Lycanroc, Absol, and Weavile surrounded by Farfetch. And then you'd be doing some crazy damage with them. But I just feel like there's not going to be a situation where you can really set that up. A lot of it is just figuring out what you can do on maps. Like, and just trying to do the best you can. because chances are your strategies are not going to work on every map. Like even the double rack as well. It seems like a very unstoppable strategy a lot of the time. It's not. You need other stuff too. And like I said, finding the perfect mix of what you need is the way to go on too, because you will just need more single hit. Or a lot of times the issue to needing single hit is you just need more AoE.
Yeah. Which I find really crazy with, like, say again, even Mamoswine. Like, Gyarados would be a good option, but would it be better than a second Maractus? The answer is no, for those curious.
I do also think that a lot of these items are very, very interesting. And honestly, I like that it's, like, set up pretty well, too. Like, it's not, like, really annoying to sort through.
Yeah. I don't like, however, how the Pokemon are all on a single page, because I feel like that could definitely be done. That would make it a bit easier.
Yeah. To be fair, though, I feel a lot of times, like, even in both of our things, just favoring any of the useful units. Like, I just never see myself using these other ones. And if I do, then I can just look for them by searching.
Like they're just favorited towards the bottom. That's not the worst idea.
I'm only on wave 61 here. These things are already kind of struggle. However, I will say also one decently good strategy is just running something that can restore heart. Because a lot of times in these later units, it's only like one or two that are occasionally slipping by because you're just not getting lucky with crits or something like that. To where restoring the hearts is just. That's why I'm running the one thing with Maractus. Is whenever they reach the 50,000, they restore a heart.
You know, that does make sense.
But I'm honestly not really hitting it too much. I might hit it this way. It is pretty good. And then I have my full Corona set to the thing that once I restore a heart, it's like a recharge bonus.
Oh yeah, I guess it's just restoring a heart total.
Again, it hasn't really procced, because I don't think it counts as restoring a heart if I don't actually have a heart loss. This strategy's definitely I might honestly swap Houston stuff. I feel like problem. Then Volcarona can hit AoE earlier on. Like I said, this isn't bad at all. Like, this is a pretty good strategy. Like I said, it should be able to make it all the way. I mean, this is a very loaded comp, and I've just added new units. The main thing is I don't really know how much our Aegislash is actually doing. So, it doesn't seem like a crazy amount or anything. I also don't know what changes the form on him.
Yeah, I would imagine it's just like 50-50.
I assume it's if there's more than one enemy. Then it just kind of does it. But that's definitely not the case.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's just like every 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It doesn't seem that good.
I honestly might pause this wave though, because I might place Aegislash or something else, because I think really any sort of AoE would be good. Plus, I want to put an item on Noivert inside. Forgot to do that. Could just do more damage. Damage increased % of the enemy is further than that much range. And decreased it. You know, necessary. I'm not gonna critical, so I mean, gaining a little bit more damage actually isn't that bad. I feel like it's just weird. If there's like an actual system to it, I'm a-okay with trying them again. But... Okay, what AoE do we... That's not... I don't think it's worth... Can you sort by AoE? Probably not. They're pretty good. Why not honestly just look through? See if any of these backgrounds. Yeah. See if there's any more areas. I could just do extra. I don't think he's really that heavy of a hitter though. I think it should be good. Can you not put money?
I think they're scared.
So for the money one, it'd have to be a single hit or something. It'd be like even splash. Okay, that might. I think it might honestly be kind of close.
Nah.
Doing stupid. So can you just not equip it on AoE attackers?
Yeah, seems like it.
It does work on Ricochet. Did we check if it worked on Splash?
Yeah, and it also works for quad shot. So it seems to work on anything that is an area. Which, fair.
Yeah.
Like, it even works on Cordelia, which I find a little weird.
I feel like Splash probably would be the best bet though. Can Grudge Gun get a specific item?
You know what?
Here's a projectile impact area. Okay. What do you think actually just inflicts that much damage though? I was almost thinking like something like Sableye might be kind of good because, you know, curse. And then quick. Range draft. This is gonna be a really abusable thing to do with this, like even poison or something. For also maybe something to do a lot of damage.
Fair. I just don't know if the thing works, because that's just some damage dealt. Then it makes me really think like, poison and stuff would just be really OP. Yeah.
Andrew doesn't seem too bad on it. Pretty good. I feel like there has to be some crazy cool crap you really can't do. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm just gonna experiment a bit.
Fair.
That pool is doing some good damage. Come on.
sleep is not cheap.
Whoa, frogs is here.
That's crazy. Currently playing games better than Overwatch? I'm sure.
I'm not sure I believe that. He finally made the boss. Legitimately surprised.
It's kind of crazy, actually.
And now it's time for my devious ploys to take effect.
I'm really trying to think who would be pumping out the best stuff. I feel like some Mercury stuff wouldn't be bad. Turn the enemy tank into a dog treat and then ate it. I got turned into a chicken a bunch of times. That sounds great.
I'm unlucky.
Yeah, that too. The Ace user has a god go up. That's crazy. So do I. I'm gonna reach this boss. I'm not gonna lie. Which stage for you to reach the boss?
1, 2. Just because every other stage was at wave 1.
Gotcha. I'm hoping 3-2 has a good boss. I feel like it'll be a good stage. It's not worth the time just because it'll be forced to take a route that I can hit a couple of times.
I think this guy should get destroyed.
I want to give Spin the money thing. I truly feel like this, the attacking the fastest thing is actually so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a ton of damage. It's just a concentrated machine gun. Big dinner fat? Fat. I'm not watching this. I won't be sleeping live. Yeah, but as you guys can see, made it to not wave 100 yet, but up to this far without getting a single heart take.
Kinda crazy.
Yeah, and we're at wave 100. A single heart. It's pretty crazy, actually.
But now all we care about really is money and mirror. Didn't give us an actual item. Beat content. Wait, or can't wait to see pics. What a clip. This guy's sort of saying he has a. Oh. I've said words.
Yes.
Thinking Persian probably is the best spot. I need a little Persian. Diddle.
What is this guy talking about?
Can this boss be slowed? Slowed, stunned, everything. Also read that in a sec. Doing my thing. What are we gonna do here? You don't have clips in your channel, you admitting that. That's not true, I would never do that. Wait, I can hit spin up more than one gosh darn thing. I could do more range. This work. Sunsporce's thing with I'm thinking this is really all we need. We could put some sort of stunner. Probably just field. Of course. Okay. So this is probably just what it used to. I feel like that was a decent amount of money. Yeah, that is yeah. don't know if it's the
He's
app.
cooking him.
Actually, gain good bit. I think with that, I gained like 400,000. Yeah,
I just feel like it's not the best guy to farm.
Why not?
I feel like you'd probably, want to get him close to dying and then just poison, and then that unit does a ton of damage and thus builds a ton of money.
I just don't know. Does poison work like that though? Like where it would build money?
Probably.
Maybe this person can be burned, so we could see. Because to be fair, we did say that poison would probably be our best bet in terms of farming money. I just don't want to kill it. Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, for this guy, maybe not.
What do you mean?
Because he has 1 health.
Like, we can try
You
run.
chose the one wrong option.
Yeah, no, it's not very good. We could still run Gengar.
True.
That's not based on that. It's based on his power. It doesn't, by the way.
Doesn't build money based on that.
Nope. Only on the initial hit.
Did you even have it equipped on him?
You know, I think I might have forgotten a factor.
My God.
It's fine, Jared. It happens.
I'm surprised it gave you money on the initial hit, because it definitely did that, right, Javen?
Well, I'm pretty sure it did. There. Haven't even started this game yet?
That do be building up some cash money moolah.
Literally giving nothing.
What do you mean? Wasn't it?
No.
Why is he perched in the top left? Thought it was in the top right. Never mind.
It would stupid guide. No stupid.
Why do you have one in the top left? I was waiting for a moment where they wouldn't be doing anything.
Fine, doesn't matter. Not a big deal. Jared's wrong. Whatever. Who would have thought?
After you were wrong first.
That's not true. I was right. If you think about it, I just was right for all the wrong reasons. It's okay, Jared.
I don't know if I did it exactly.
I do feel like he could be. That probably honestly is our best bet. The game update is letting saves update with it. If we're talking about this, you can just export your saves and then carry it over. Mine just auto works.
This guy's probably playing it on browser.
That was pretty good. Logged in with Google. Oh, I downloaded the game. Yeah, I think this is also earning me a pretty good amount. I'm just wondering if there really is a hitter I can use that would because like this is pretty decent coverage. And it does a lot of damage. You know, obviously focus. Oh. I think that's pretty good damage. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones with good range. I mean, there is Inteleon. Maybe omnidirectional Inteleon would be pretty good. I don't think it's that good. Maybe Flygon? Flygon would hit the entire area. I feel like Flygon might get more use. Let's see. Flygon attacks faster, higher crit rate, and about same range, but could hit the entire time. Let's see, Dave. Let's just assume that is like 50. And then place. No. Same spot, probably. Let's see how much for me. Okay, so I think Noivern is just better. I think it's mostly because of focus, which is kind of what I figured would be really OP. I feel like we need better coverage. Like, something like that, I just feel like isn't bad. Like it hit once in the initial, and then a good bit, and then it's there. But this I get the Flora bonus and the Farfetch bonus. It's really not that much coverage. Right. I get Farfetch to have a little bit more range, Jared.
That's a good question.
So useful. In the last to be fair, I also with the money thing, but I was looking for that. So. Gotta do this. I think the coverage is somehow better. give something to Corsola or Spinda. I mean, it's still just a lot of bonus money. Let's genuinely just look through these teams. Again, I think range is the most important. And I can just hit. But in Hellion, I feel like if I put him up here, he could hit, and then hit like there, and maybe there. There? I don't know, we might as well try it, right? It'd be funny. Oh wait, but yeah, I can't get that's probably our best bet. Yeah, that's not useful at all.
No, that went crazy.
Sure.
Right, Gyarados, you know?
Gyarados doesn't even have that much range.
Oh, okay.
Really that much.
This guy got 2,000 power and double damaged armor.
Yeah, I think Punch or something. This is my Vigilant. That's great. My Pokepath. Nimrod doesn't have a lot of range. Flash is gonna help me. Rampardos might actually kind of cook here. The thing is, again, no range. That's like the main reason Wyvern works, I feel. He said Spinda we could also put in position, but I really don't think they'd be getting that much damage. Because, like, that might be one of our best positions. I feel like I would need to go there to get the full effect. I feel like it's not getting anywhere near the numbers I want to see. It definitely builds up, but I feel like spinning is not too big of an idea. News does do double damage to armor. It is 2,000 damage. It's like such a long cooldown. Yeah, the range is horrendous too. I just genuinely don't think we're gonna get a better option. Okay. How's it going, Tycoon? What are we doing? You know. Stuff. Really good. One fully through PFP. What can I give to? I even thought I had to have a position over there. Like, put it there. That's also diagonal isn't. What do I want to count? you give up Rosaria last night? Not really. We played till 10. We made it to the tower. I plan on playing some more tonight. I just wanted to check out this new update. Plus, me and Jared wanted to actually try and get some content for it to where we can put it on the YouTube in the clip, just because it's pretty popular. So we wanted to do a little bit of this. I wasn't sure if you were done with it after you got a sample of that exciting dungeon. Honestly, I didn't hate the dungeon that much. I think, like I said, my main issue is the stupid difficulty spikes. I just want to be able to play on the higher difficulties, but then it's like it makes it impossible. So it's just kind of annoying. But I put my ego aside, so I'm just so normal. So we're chilling. What is this game? Well, it's I don't know if you ever played Pokemon Tower Defense, but I think it's inspired by that. But it's just like a tower defense game. It's called Pokepath. It's pretty cool. I just saw a random YouTube video on it like a week or two ago, and I'm like, huh, might as well check it out. And I just thought there was making a bunch of videos, and so I figured I'd actually make the videos on, even though we already like 100% of the game. But there's still some content that me and Jared can try and get. I don't know if it's worth even stacking. The recharge thing is also insane. But it's pretty cool. The recharge time stuff is really good, by the way, Jared.
Oh, I've been using a lot of recharge time stuff.
And also, you can give Farfetch the range thing. That's what I did.
Which range thing?
Pretty exactly what it is, but it's like cost damage, but
I see. The red berry juice thing?
yeah.
Makes sense, makes
It
sense.
gave me just enough range for what I needed, so. I wonder if I can. They're probably the same range. It's probably more important. Ooh, wait. Do I hit the trifecta on Noivern right now? I think they have the comfy effect, the Sunflora, and the...
Ah, dang.
Might actually be crazy. $100,000 on Noivern.
Ah, dang.
That's what I'm saying. Look how fast Persian's attacking. It's like a machine gun. And then my Ditto one also has respawn time. It's just not as good as the Quick Claw. Yeah, this strat seems pretty good for farming. So, but if there's not anything else we want to do, might save and hop off and swap to this area. Also, it doesn't say I own all the Pokemon yet, and then I'm missing levels. Maybe it's just, are they not out yet or what?
That's a good question.
Are you still missing 5?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But
assume they
what?
aren't some tower defense thingy you can play it on browser. You can also download it. And me and Jared have also been trying to get back into regular Pokemon tower defense.
To be fair, we don't know exactly what the bike does, do we?
No, I guess I am gonna be farming for that. It went through and you still live. No, I did lose frogs. I just have auto retry set, and it retries on the final wave. I think it's every 25 waves, except I guess technically it is one wave 100 that are reset. So there's like checkpoints you can do. So if you die like at wave 75, you can just retry wave 75, and then if you die on like 83, it resets at 75. And just to allow you to like try stuff again. And I'm not really realizing it, but I am getting close to killing this thing. Because it does only have 1 HP, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To be fair, that's fine. Well, maybe not actually. I'm gonna say I can just make it back. I don't know if I can make it back. Yeah, that's a little scary. I didn't think I'd have to calm down on Suns, but I think we might have to calm down on Suns, dude.
I'm lucky.
It really is.
I think at last all my items are properly arranged.
Nice. That seems like we're not going to worry about having to die while still getting some use. I guess I could also just replace Cragonal now for Smeargle, which I did say I was going to do anyway. Any better recharge thing? Gonna have approximately a 1 hit. Okay, so we get 3 hits in at the end, and we're relying on that bad lad to give us shinies.
Yep. I'm personally running the very effective strategy of 2 Smeargles and Persian, so.
I mean, to be fair, you'll probably want that at some point. I just care more about money right now because I want to unlock the things and just save up money for the next phase. Yeah. That's a lot of credits now. Export data. Down. You guys can copy the code too if you really want.
That feels so wrong. That is a lot of creds. I thought I scrolled down all the way.
Wait. Oh, never mind. I was about to like go crazy. It's in toggle speed, and I'm like, wait, I can crank up speed, but then I remembered I was playing on.
Unlucky.
Guess I'll close the game anyway. Gonna hop off, but yeah, we're gonna swap over to Brazaria. Yeah, you guys should check out Pokepath. It's cool, all that. And anyone from clips in the future or YouTube videos, let me know if there's anything you want to see or talked about. I can even, if people actually request a strategy for each of the stages, I can probably do it. But yeah, we're gonna swap over to Brazaria. But for YouTube gang, make sure like, follow, obey, ribbit, flippity flop, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys later. Peace.